I think because I've lived here, I'm so used to it that it's just like a norm for me. You know, you really don't think about it.
I'm in denial about it.
No, again, like I said, I think most of the people at Clairton really don't even think about it.
Well, we're finding alarming rates of asthma. And from our schoolwork here in Clairton, elementary children, we're finding about 35% actually have asthma, nearly 3 times what we expected.
Every time they show the place, they show the quench tower. That is steam, but that's what they're constantly showing. Look at Clairton, look at Clairton. That's not smoke, like a lot of people perceive it to be. So.
Zinc was one of them, iron, sulfur. These are things that are coming from this plant. It's not just steam.
This small town on the outskirts of Pittsburgh was built on steel. It's home to the largest coke manufacturing plant in the country, Clairton Works. Coke is a fuel used in the steelmaking process. It's made by burning coal in industrial ovens, which is then quenched with water in large towers that dot the Clairton skyline. But Clairton residents think that the coke plant is doing more than helping to make steel. They fear it's making them sick.
So U.S. Steel declined to talk to us on camera, but we were able to line something up with the union president in Clairton. So we're gonna go see what he has to say, and he actually does work at the plant as well. One thing I wanna ask is, I'm curious what you think when people report on this type of story, like, what am I getting wrong? What don't I understand about what's going on here?
Look at your pictures. Look at the past. Look at it now. And you can tell the difference. I mean,
what do you tell them? Take a look. And if you go inside, if you had the chance to tour the inside, it'd be an eye-opener what those guys do.
Well, one thing is, every time they show the place, they show the quench tower. That is steam. And that's where you're at there. But that's what they're constantly showing. Look at Clairton, look at Clairton. That's quench tower, that's steam coming out of there. That's not smoke, like a lot of people perceive it to be. Things like that.
I mean, trust me, compared to the way it used to be, when you used to quench and the water would burn, that's what you had.
So do you think the steel plant or U.S. Steel cares about the community?
Guarantee they do.
Did you say your father was a steel worker?
Yeah, my father was still a member, yes.
So you just knew like this was going to be what you're going to go into?
I didn't know that at the time because I come out of high school and I went to college for 6 months, and it wasn't for me. I took the opportunity to go to steel mill, make some money.
So would you say it's today as good of a job as it was back then?
It's, my opinion, it's a better job because of the safety, all the improvements in safety and all the improvements on the machines. It's definitely a better job now. The pay and the pensions and your insurance are the most important part about it for your family. Look here, I've worked here for 44 years. I haven't had a check yet that bounced. I can tell you that.
All right, well, will you show me around out back and sort of, let's see what we're looking at? Oh, there's the
pole there.
And so that emission right now that we're seeing, the billow,
that's the steam coming off.
That's the
steam coming off the quench.
Okay. So, what is in that steam? Are there any chemicals? Are there any?
No, there's just the steam just off the fresh water. That's it, steam. The everyday operation here, nothing hardly gets out or whatever. I'm not saying 100%, but our operation is the cleanest in the country. Trust me.
Okay.
What we do is to make sure that we're not going above the exceedance on the tires.
But I guess that's what I'm saying is, so it's constantly putting things into the atmosphere that, or am I understanding wrong?
No, you're wrong in that perspective.
Okay.
Everything is trapped into the tire, all right?
Okay. And so us standing here, we're not in any harm whatsoever.
No, we have people right there.
Right there.
There's people watch our go right by them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that one's really yellow.
Yeah, got a little yellow.
So is that just a different process? I'm curious like how that differs from the other ones.
He might have a problem with the tire or whatever on
Okay.
that one there.
And then that, you were saying earlier, that's essentially just creating clouds?
Yes,
Yeah.
steam.
Yeah. Okay. I'm at Cheryl's daycare here in Clairton, Pennsylvania, and she tests the air quality on a daily basis to see if the kids can go outside and play. We're gonna see what it's like today.
I am a 5th generation Clairtonian, and you're in my group daycare home here in Clairton, Pennsylvania. Let's clean up. Come on, Malay. Would you help to clean up, please? Okay, thank you. Come on, let's clean this up. None of this is fair to us. We should not have to worry about having to breathe. Okay, everybody,
Nap time.
let's get your blankets together. Well, I worked at U.S. Steel. So when the steel mill began to close, our population dropped from over 20-some thousand that we're now down to almost 7,000. We've lost so many businesses here. We don't have a grocery store. When I was a kid, we had movie theaters, we had 3 grocery stores. You really didn't have to go outside of your community to be able to get everything you needed. It was right here.
You have a beautiful home.
Ah, thank you.
Quite a view except for the billowing smokestacks. So tell me about this monitor. Where did this come from?
This one, our Clairton Library rents it free.
Do a lot of parents do that?
No.
No. How many times a day do you check this?
Whenever I walk past.
Just to get an idea.
And if I look out and I see smoke and then I'm curious, what is it today?
And so, can the kids go outside today?
Mm-hmm.
They can.
They can go out because it's moderate,
Okay.
which means that it's not that bad yet, but it's going up.
These air quality monitors detect and determine the level of fine particulate matter indoors. The higher the reading, the greater concentration of these tiny particles. The sensors can tell you how clean the air is inside your home and how much outdoor pollution is making its way indoors.
Running a daycare center, you see a lot of children.
With asthma.
How many cases do you see? Is it a high percentage?
Probably at least half. So for the next generations, my question is, what will our children experience? I think that data needs to be collected. I know the school is working on collecting some from the children.
I'm here at the elementary school, and we're meeting with the doctor that oversees asthma testing for Clairton. I want to ask her just how bad it actually is in the town.
I'm actually a pediatric allergy and immunology specialist, and I take care of children as well as adults with asthma. And we were having quite a few school nurses report to us that many of the children in their schools had inhalers and high rates of asthma, and we wanted to investigate that.
So what have you found here in Clairton?
Well, we're finding alarming rates of asthma. Across the nation in pediatrics, we see about 10 to 13% of children have asthma. And across the state of Pennsylvania, it's also 10 to 13%. We're finding rates of about 35% in these children, which is alarmingly high.
So nearly 3 times.
Oh, yes. Yeah, 3 times as high as what you would expect.
How has it been, in your experience, educating people and getting them to understand what their concerns should be?
Right. They're used to this. This is their day-to-day life. They were born here. They're raised here. You know, they see pictures of decades ago, and it was very dark and cloudy and black from the pollution, and they think that today it's better. But you actually still have a problem here, and we're not improving as fast as many other cities in the U.S. These particles that are being inhaled in your airways are very small. You can only see them with a microscope. The heavier particles that were released decades ago and caused that black soot on everything and everyone were much heavier, and they were too big to actually deposit into the lungs.
These tiny particles are known as particulate matter 2.5, or PM 2.5, because they're smaller than 2.5 microns. That's about 1/30th the size of human hair. These particles are so small, they can permeate through your lungs and into your bloodstream. What are the negative effects of the things that we can't see that we're breathing in?
Oh, basically, it's very well established that these particulate matters cause breathing problems, heart problems, increased cancer risk, and increased rate of death. And there have been studies done that have shown that children who are missing school due to asthma actually don't perform as well in school, and it has the potential to impact them getting secondary education and even future employment opportunities. It's a disease that just doesn't go away.
My name is William Page. I play football and I run track.
Does asthma affect you as an athlete?
Yes. I'm fast right now, but if it wasn't for asthma and breathing, like I have trouble breathing while I'm running. I haven't mastered that technique of breathing and running because of my asthma. The inside of my chest hurts and yeah, it's just all messed up.
Do you think it's due to like the air quality in Clairton?
Oh, most definitely. Because my granddad has it and my other granddad and my dad has it.
Knowing all of this, and as you grow older, do you want to stay in Clairton?
No.
We're all breathing this air. I'm breathing this air. I'm at increased risk for these problems too. So I'm thinking it's not the best place to live. If we're going to try to attract younger people here to work in some of the, up and coming, professions, we really need to clean the air up or they're just not going to come. I'm hoping my research does raise awareness both in the community and then with officials, both at plants as well as government, to try to help everyone band together and make some progress here.
At USS Clairton Works, where we take coal and turn it into coke to fuel blast furnaces, recover byproducts for use in the chemicals industry, and produce clean coke oven gas for our own energy needs, we have the highly trained workforce, the leading-edge technology recognized worldwide, and the environmentally conscious approach to make us the leader in the industry.
Well, we have a very dense monitoring network here in Allegheny County. I doubt that you'll find any county in the country with a more dense monitoring system. It could be argued that Pittsburgh has probably, in the past, been the worst air quality area in the country. It's also arguably the biggest success story as far as improvement from the past, with the amount of industry, the amount of air quality. This is an artifact of that we continue to monitor our area due to that historic legacy of industry.
One thing we have been told by a lot of residents and workers at the plant is what you're seeing coming into the air is just steam, that there's nothing else in it that we have to worry about. Is that true?
I would not say that. So, there is a lot of steam at these plants, but again, it is a coke facility. This technology that they use to make coke here is very old. It's arguably, 100 years old or so. And so it's very difficult for that to be clean.
They have had significant fines, like over $3 million
Yes.
in the last handful of years, and they can pay those. Do you think that these fines are enough to keep them lowering their admissions when it's almost like a slap on the wrist?
Well, it does seem like a slap on the wrist. However, again, we have a legal framework that says where we can set those fines. EPA gives us guidance that we have to follow. So obviously there's going to be violations. 6,300 sources, you can't always be in compliance. But it has gotten better, but we're not complacent. But I understand what you're saying, that you're concerned. Is that enough?
And I think it's a lot of like what U.S. Steel has said. It's gotten a lot better than it has been in the 70s. But is that almost a rhetoric that can be misleading because people are thinking, oh, well, it's gotten so much better, we're not at risk?
That's something that we face a lot of times. This is, well, when people say, well, it's better than it used to be, there's kind of an implied assumption. It's like, are you done? We're not done. it continues. We continue to enforce, we continue to improve. It never stops.
Well, when I grew up, kids were out playing. They were out outdoors constantly. Now they're having breathing difficulties. Why? Is it because of U.S. Steel alone? I don't think so. The Allegheny County Health Department has to look into it. I think that they have to start taking ownership of what is going on here. And from what I understand from the meeting that we had a week or so ago, maybe they're going to start. Maybe they're going to start looking into things, testing and everything like that. But it's a little bit too late for the people that are already sick. My husband worked at U.S. Steel. 2004, he ended up having cancer. And I lost him in 2004. He always told me that to remember that he was exposed to a lot of chemicals down there. Other people that he worked with, even though they were smokers, and I don't know whether it's coincidental or what, but they died from lung cancer.
Do you think your husband was taken care of?
No, no, no.
You've been part of organizations that have lobbied to clean up Clairton. Can you tell me a little bit about the organizations you've worked with?
Penn Future, Mon Valley Reach. I'm on the Eastman Chemical Cap. They try to keep everybody educated or get educated, and it's important that people get their eyes opened. They're not there to close plants. They're there to make sure that they follow the guidelines, to follow what is written. But we're finding that some of these companies would rather pay the fines than do what is mandated. I mean, it's so much easier for them to do that. This is about making the companies aware that people are watching them. It's about making sure that they do take care of their employees.
If this union didn't exist, if you weren't in this union, would you feel comfortable working in the steel plant here?
No. Never. Nope.
And even us coming in here and asking, do you guys feel attacked by outsiders?
We don't feel attacked. And here's the thing, if I felt threatened by you coming here, I wouldn't even invite you here. I've been through them, like I said, I've been challenged many times by them, and we're not backing down from the challenge. Whether it's environmentally, through another group, or through the company, we're ready for the challenge. We work with the company, and we fight it. So it's a love-hate relationship.
See, the environmental issues, they keep setting the bar higher, all right? Every time they have to upgrade, it's more expense, okay? We've taken sacrifices in contracts so that they can make these upgrades. It's just a big cycle.
Where do you think the coking industry will be in 10 years?
It's going to be here unless they can find some other way to do it.
Like I said, people don't realize you need the coke to make the steel, but they're trying to drive it out of this country. You know what's going to happen if they got to make it in another country. We got the strictest emission control in the world. I don't understand why you wouldn't want it where it's strict. Look, you walk around the plant here, you can see, you know what's going to happen in another country. And so where's the environmental stewardship there? It's pretty much out of sight, out of mind.
So my dad was a steel worker when he was going through college, and when he graduated, they actually offered him a job that paid twice as much as his teaching job. Do you guys feel like that's changed? Do you feel like it's as competitive today as it was then, and as lucrative today as it was then?
Well, it's good paying jobs. Like, we have a lot of college graduates working here because of the economy. It's a better paying job, and a lot of jobs out there. I mean, you got a pension, we got good health care and that. You're gonna retire someday. If you don't have that there, there's gonna be a shock. There's gonna be a culture shock here in about 30, 40 years. That's my opinion. If something don't turn around, and get the good paying jobs back in here and having your health care and having a pension, what do you want to do when you're 60, 65? I know it's a long way off, people don't think of it, but it's going to be a shock to a lot of people in time.
I just spent 3 days in Clairton, Pennsylvania. We talked to steel workers, community members, doctors, and it's just a situation that feels like there is no perfect answer. But doctors and scientists are saying, like, what's happening is pretty serious. Even though U.S. Steel has made technological upgrades to Clairton Works, coke making is still a dirty process, and one that continues to put pollutants into the air. If companies are allowed to pay fines while making partial upgrades, towns and industrial states across the country will continue to breathe harmful pollutants. It's a conversation that's not going anywhere fast, but companies that profit from this industry need to be held accountable. People expect them to lower their emissions, no matter the cost.
I couldn't tell someone that we need to shut down their livelihood. Unless you have something that could replace it, I would never tell them that, because that's how they feed their family. But I have no problem talking about the fact that there needs to be improvements.